Hi, morning everyone. So I really struggled to think about what to share on this stage. So I was thinking, should I share inspiration? Should I share some new technology and get everyone on board and understanding what these new technologies can do? But I thought maybe I should go something more fundamental, okay? Because we're talking about digitization and innovation, there's a seduction and temptation to go into the sexy and beautiful and wonderful gizmos and things like that. So let me start by saying, number one, I am no expert in the cultural institution sector like you guys. So I'll try my very best, but this is my favorite painting. It gives me a wonderful feeling, Picasso's Three Musicians. It's just like a few friends hanging out, having some wine, playing some music, just chilling. That's such a wonderful and nice feeling. I stood in front of this painting at MoMA in New York for quite a long time, just absorbing that feeling. And I was thinking to myself like, wow, this is such a wonderful feeling if only everyone could have felt this, There was no technology, there was no audio help, nothing whatsoever. But it was a wonderful experience for me. But I've been in the cultural institution online for a very long time. Right? I got my first modem in 1993. Okay, before the internet was around, I'm like, wow, what's this internet thing? When I got my first browser in 1995. So this is something I participated in 2001, which is called the Mirror Project. I'm not sure if many of you heard of this before. This was before selfies, before smartphones. Someone came up with this beautiful idea that, hey, let's just take pictures of our reflections and share it online. That's it. Someone had to build the website. It wasn't like Facebook. You could just go on and click a few buttons, right? I got really inspired. I saw this guy. He was taking a picture of his own reflection on the North Pole, the pole of the North Pole. That was just, wow, amazing. I need to get involved, okay? So a few interesting places. Amazingly, the website is still there. It's amazing. So what do we think about when we say digitization and innovation? This is what comes to mind, right? Digital experiences, augmented realities, AI, bring your own device, omni-channel, cross-platform, and things like this. These are all the kind of things we think about, okay? But this is not only in the public sector, it's also in the private sector. We are seeing organizations, FMCG, automotive, all of them are going into this digitization and innovation as well. The fundamental question everybody's asking themselves, is this investment worthwhile? Are we going to have our ROI? Is this project initiative worth all our times? Is it meaningful for our audiences? Does it bring any value? So where is this world on digitization and innovation? And I would like to just share some observation. Who knows what this is? This is a crypto kitten. Okay? Basically, it's a game with blockchain, based on blockchain, and what you can do is you can purchase, you can collect, you can sell, you can breed even, okay? This is called Dragon, that's the name. It's a 9th generation crypto kitty. It has the tail of its dad and the teeth of his mom, okay? You can go online and check this out. September 2018, it was sold for $171,000 US. Someone actually bought it, okay? So if you want to go get it, I think it's on a great discount right now. So, yeah. But there is a whole online culture about this. A lot of people are participating, and a lot of new and interesting things are bubbling up. So the question is physical versus digital. What actually can make us think? What can make us reflect? What can make us have a different understanding? The next one is quite nice. This is in New York. The New Museum actually partnered with Apple to create art in partnership. So art as in A-R-T, right? So they are using augmented reality, getting artists to create artwork all over New York, and also in the stores as well. So wonderful use of technology. But my question then to us is, do we then make them come to us, or do we go out to them? Okay. Just a few weeks ago, my daughter, I was cycling with my daughter in Punggol Waterway, all right? And then we saw huge 5 stones. Okay, so those who know, there is the arts in your neighborhood as well. So seeing, how art is coming to our audiences is wonderful as well. So do we want them to come to us, or do we actually go to them? This is Google Trends, and one of my favorite places to just understand a population and what they are interested in and what they are into. This is what was trending in 2018, and when 2019 ends, Google will release this information as well. Again, top searches for news, for gadgets, for movies, etc. They classify it in many, many different ways. And if you can see it from different countries, it's all different. Now, the point I'm trying to make is that we have more data than ever before. How can we leverage this data? How can we make meaningful decisions? And how do we engage our audience in a meaningful way? So we do have more data than ever before. And the problem also is that we are an extremely distracted generation. I love the question just now when we talk about competing with your Netflix and entertainment and the like. And I think Jeff had a great answer to that. You know, could we not participate together? And there is always a need for human connection as well. Now, how then do we, in this very distracted generation, make people reflect on history, inspire thought, you know, contemplate on the future, and even have meaningful dialogues? You know, dialogues not about just what did you see last week on Netflix, you know, what about deeper conversations? How do we get people involved? And my solution is very, very simple. It's just, let's just create very, very meaningful engagements with our audience. And I would like to share 3 key points on what I think would be great. I know a lot of us in the room are in the civil sector, and a lot of us are in the trenches, you know. We've got projects to run. We've got initiatives, we've got papers to write. Okay, so what do we think about and what do we do when we say, like, we want to go into innovation, we want to go into digitization? So firstly, we need to figure out the content. Okay, what content should we have out there? Like I said, Singaporeans are extremely busy. They got their day jobs, and there's lots of online conversations they're participating in. Also, they have their own culture as well within their friends, the things they talk about, the time they spend together. So in order to figure out the content, we need to relentlessly listen to what they are all about. Okay? We need to know our audience. Put ourselves in our audience shoes, try to understand how they feel, what makes them tick. Really deep dive into it. I remember when I went back to reservists in Singapore for the military service, right? This was, I think, in the late 2000s. I was asking some of my friends to connect on Facebook. Some of them didn't know what Facebook was. They were like, well, what Facebook? They got no idea. Then I'm like, okay, I'm living literally in a bubble. I really need to go out there, talk to people more, and understand what is interesting to them. So great, pigeonhole feedback. Let's get the feedback loop going and try to know our audience as much as we can. And number 2 is know their culture. Where are our audiences spending their time? What are they doing? What motivates them? What makes them want to engage? Okay, so I think these are 2 key points of trying to figure out the content. So only understanding our audiences well, understanding where they are spending their time, then will we be able to figure out and curate even better content for them. Next point, we've got to figure out the format, all right? I don't have a pyramid structure, so we've got more mobile apps than ever, okay? I don't even want to count. On average, I think everyone has about 200 apps or something like that. Just crazy. Okay, and I love how my smartphone is telling me the amount of time I'm spending every week on Sunday morning, and I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, so there are tons of channels out there. There are tons of platforms, technologies out there as well. And it's really pulling time away from us. And I get this question all the time. Should we get on this channel? Should we get on that channel? Should we employ this technology? Should we employ that technology? So to figure out a format, I think we need to thoroughly understand the platforms, what they do. A Facebook is good for certain things. Instagram is good for certain things. Android phone is good for certain things. And Apple phone is good for certain things as well. We need to understand that. And the very first thing we need to do is we need to experiment. We need to try it out for ourselves. We need to be practitioners. Just last year, I was doing an executive training at Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy, and I made this point, which was very interesting, which is say, if you want to know a channel, you got to do something about it. Go and create an Instagram account, try to get 1,000 followers and see what happens. You know, practice it. Don't just talk about it and ask people for Instagram strategies. One person, one of the team members from the organizing committee actually took that to heart. So this year when I went back again for the same course, I just checked in with this lady again and said, how did it go? Did you do something about it? She said, yes. She got about 1,500 followers. Okay? She basically created an Instagram account of her 3 golden retrievers. Okay? And she now knows intimately, which hashtags work well, which day she posts works well. Puppy pictures work better than adult pictures, adult dog pictures, and things like that. Okay? So she knew it firsthand. So we can always practice. We got our smartphones. We can do something about it. Partner. We don't have to do everything ourselves. We can partner with people. How about allowing our space to be a test bed for other people, other private sector people who want to come in try out their new technology, try out different things as well. We don't have to do it ourselves. There are lots of media channels at the bottom, like I mentioned, like Vice, Vox, Channel News Asia, etc., and things like that. There are lots of other players out there constantly looking at experimenting with different formats and things like that. So we could work with them. Lastly, we need to figure out the action. Okay, what do we want people to do? There are lots of things that we invest our time and effort into. Now, the thing that we want is measurable results, like it worked. Okay, we have ROI, we have numbers to show that it worked. Now, the challenge is we can only measure it if our audiences do something. So what is that something we want them to do is the question. We need to diligently plan for engagement, okay? It needs to be engineered. You can't just expect people to have a good feeling, yes, nice, and then they leave, right? You need to capture that data point. You need to make them interact and so that you can capture it. So I think one of the powerful things is asking yourself if the audience were to interact with a touch point or an exhibit, why will they care? Ask yourself as an individual, if you stand there, you are the litmus test. Does it even make sense to you? Does this give you a meaningful, lasting impression? Does this make you reflect? Does it make you have the intended outcome that you want, okay, from the general public? So really, when I get a lot of RFPs and projects and things like that, and I really look at the briefs and I'm like, why are we doing this? Why would any audience even want to participate in this? But sometimes it's just like, we got to do it. So let's make sure we manage it at a paper level. So next point is, why will I share? Okay, it's not scalable to put media dollars to reach another audience, right? We need to make sure that when someone have that wonderful experience that you're trying to give them, that they will take it, okay, and they will want to share it with other people as well. So this is a very powerful mindset shift. Not just a very compelling, powerful content, but if someone will want to share it. And there are some things you will share, something you won't share, because it does reflect on you when you share something. So yesterday night I shared something very powerful, which I really love. Okay, I sent a warning on my Facebook page, do not give me any Christmas presents. And then I put hashtag sustainable Christmas. Okay, so I want people to share that, and I think people could resonate with that. And I think that's a meaningful engagement with some of my friends and my family members. So yeah, I love to end up with a summary slide where all the people in the trenches could get some tips on how to actually move forward and how do we respond in this digitization and innovative change in the world. Thank you.